Alright y'all, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be transferring 2024 into a new bullet journal. First thing first, I'm going to be replacing this front page with this sticker, but let's get into the story of the sticker. So I created the sticker in Canva. I grabbed this picture from somewhere that I saw on Pinterest. I forget who exactly it was who had this, but I liked the picture, so I printed it. I bought this in the Canva, did a couple little words on top of it, put that this book belongs to on top of it, and I'm going to print it out. But of course, like, no printer ever works the way it's supposed to. This is literally printing a blank page. Like, when this comes out, it's going to be all blank, but it's actually acting like it's printing. Like, see? You see how it's coming out all slow and whatnot? It's think it's printing, but it's not. So I didn't want to sit down and fool with this, because at this point I'm pretty sure the printer heads are dry, which would be the first time I ever had this problem. But like, every time I try to print with the printer, it's always something. Like, it's just always something. So I went to Office Max and I'm going to print this. And of course, this is my second time printing this, because the first time I'm printing this, despite this looking like it says put the paper in upside down, I print this and it came out on the wrong side. So I have to print this out again and wait for it to come out on the right side. But alas, there's still yet one more problem, and perhaps this is on me for not having the proper floor planning, because when I thought that I printed this out to be the same size as my A5 book, it was not the same size as my A5 book. That could have been bad math on my part, because of course I'm always thinking in inches, and the A5 book is measured in millimeters and centimeters. But even at that, it also could have just been printing, because if I were to print something in Canva or expect it to be a certain size in Canva, converting that to an actual page could be different, and then printers do different things when you actually get them in there. So that could be it. So like you see, it only did this. I was thinking about putting a little border around this later, but for right now, this will do. And honestly, I just wanted the picture. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I can always do something later. In fact, I have the whole rest of the year or the rest of my life, really, to do it. The first spread that I'm going to do in this new journal is going to be my goals and word of the year. I'm going to combine these onto one spread, just because all I'm doing is transferring it for these last 3 months. For I'm probably still going to be working a little bit in and out of my old journal, so I'm just referencing this for like future purposes. In case I come back, the most pertinent information is going to be right at the front of this book, and then right after that it's going to be 2025. So I only wanted to transfer these few spreads. So the first box is going to be my word of the year. I'm just going to transfer that over, and I'm going with index card and kind of look for it. My working theme last year for my whole bullet journal, which is more of a just garden theme. So I'm going to kind of continue that for these first 3 months, and then for 2025, I'm going to have a whole brand new theme, which is going to be what the rest of the book looks like. So I'm just going to continue that over. I'm doing a block letter style for to represent this theme, or at least on this page I am. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of the page with just little doodles of flowers and like garden type things. Some of the things that I did last year in this journal. So right here you see that I am trying to fill in spots with a white pen. White pens are definitely going to be the death of my art style, because I always try to figure out how to use them, and I'm thinking that maybe I just need to let everything completely dry before I go in with a white pen, because I can never get the white pen to show up on anything. Like, I know that the white pen in and of itself needs to dry so that you can actually see it, but it never gives me the effect that I'm going for. But I'm gonna keep trying. Like I said, this whole thing is about me learning to become a better artist, and I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying and keep trying to figure it out. So here I am. I'm writing in the little doodles that I was going to do. Just a bunch of leaves and vines and a little bit of flowers here and there. Putting a vine on this box, trying to make it look like it's wrapped around. Just filler plants in general. I really enjoy doing these little decorations and doing these little doodles. I will say, I think it just wakes up a different side of the brain. I spend so much time being like clearly analytical and, thinking about things. And this is just a way to kind of let my pen do what it wants to do and let my brain do what it wants to do. I want to experiment with textures and adding in different scrapbooking papers because I love scrapbooking and card making and those kind of activities. So I want to incorporate that into my journal instead of those being things that I keep separate. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to do that in the future. And if that's something that you think you might want to see, let me know in the comments because I do cards and stuff like that, especially that we're getting to the end of the year. I cannot wait. I already have my theme for Christmas. I already have my theme for Kwanzaa. And so I'm just going to be enjoying making those. And I've already been working on like getting that kind of stuff in the house so I won't have to worry about it. So here you see that I am adding stitching to these boxes. I thought everything was looking a little too plain for my liking. So I kept thinking about what kind of elements can I add, what kind of textures, what kind of visual interest can I add to this page to make it look just a little bit more interesting. And this is what I came up with. So the threads and and I'm going to color every other line just again for some visual interest and to help me write when I'm actually writing and using these. I also thought that they kind of look like recipe cards a little bit, which I love recipe cards and index cards. So this went along perfectly with what I thought I was going to do. And again, I thought this looked a little too plain for my liking. So I'm going back in, I'm coming here with my yellow Tombow, and I'm going to add little confetti hearts and confetti stars to the page. And I'm going to do the same thing with all the other colors. So I'm going to come in here with some more leaves. And then I'm going to use my purple a little bit more, my green a little bit more. And I'm just going to really work on filling this page up with a bunch of stuff. I even added some pink hearts. Now that I've filled in the page with as much decoration as I think I can stand, I'm going to go over to my next spread, which is my future log, and it'll just be the last 3 months of the year. So now we're just about done with October, and I'm going to include this because I did have things in here for October, but it'll still be good for November and December. When I first had the idea for this spread, it was actually in September, and it was actually in September, and that's what I planned for. And I actually had this drawn out already, so I'm definitely including it. I'll go back and maybe refill some things in that I think might have been useful in October or might have been important, just like important events, more so just for the memory of it, not necessarily because I'm planning anything. And then this will also help me to stay on track to remember to do this stuff a little bit earlier. Always I'm trying to do a little bit of self-improvement. So this font that I'm using, it is something that I saw on Google and I could not find it again. I have no idea what I searched in order to find this, but I went ahead and drew it out and decided that I was going to fill it in as much as I could. I really like the font. I really wish I could go back and find it. Like I said earlier, I planned this back in September and I thought I was gonna keep the page up on one of my tabs and lost the tab. So if anybody can identify this font, please put it down below. I'd love to know what it was. To do this font, I am writing it out with a very thin 01 marker or 01 micron, and I'm coming back and filling it in with my 12 micron just to give the effect. And then you see here I'm also filling it in with my 5. I just wanted to make sure that the lines were as thin as I needed them to be, but I wanted to fill in the thicker, bolder lines. I know there are a lot of people who are really good with calligraphy. I'm not. I want to be, but I just don't have the time to practice. So this is kind of what I do to get that faux calligraphy look. And different font types are just different font types. Some are going to look really nice with that really thin, elegant line, and some of them you're just going to need that bold look. uh for this one, I wish I could get some of the curvier letters to look a little bit better. I just need to get better with, holding my pen and making it look more on purpose rather than I'm really trying my best to fit in the lines. Like, I guess I'm just like a scared artist. I'm scared to make the wrong move, and because of that, it holds my art back. I'm gonna be working on that. I think I just had a mental breakthrough. And then after I finish this, we're going to get into the coloring. So I wanted to spend some time coloring this month, which is why it took me so long to post this video. For this drawing, or for this painting that I'm about to do, I saw this on Google and I tried, I would love to be able to figure out what that was, but I remember seeing it and I thought I had saved it and then I lost it. So I'm really trying to recreate this from memory. Like the parts where you see that I wrote things in with pencil, that was when I was looking at the photo and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to remember what this looked like. And of course I didn't remember 100% what it looked like. Like, I definitely needed the model in front of me to create this, but this is what we're going to do, and we're doing this from memory. So one thing that I learned from this process is that with watercoloring, I probably should have let some things dry before I started to color over it again, because even when I thought it had dried, the paper was still just the littlest bit of wet and the color just spread a lot further than I anticipated. But again, that's why I'm doing this, because I'm learning. I think what I'm doing right now, I have this gray here because it's supposed to be like a rock wall. So bushes in the background, rock wall with stairs going into this little lake that I have that you're seeing me color in blue. To date, this will be the biggest watercoloring painting that I've ever done, and I probably should have stuck to small stuff until I got to a better level. But sometimes you gotta bite off more than you can chew to make it work. I definitely wanted some depth for this lake. Like, I wanted you to be able to kind of see some of the things that were in the lake, and then in the middle of me doing it, I lost the sauce and forgot that there were supposed to be like flowers and grass and whatnot inside the lake. And then, again, like I said, I kind of lost the sauce with not really knowing how to get depth and whatnot. But I will say there's one part of this drawing that makes me super duper happy. And, it's kind of where the overlap between the rock and the water is. Because that part, for whatever reason, at least to me in my eye, looked like super on point. It looked like that one part looked like I was a real artist right quick. So I'm very happy with that one part of the drawing. The rest of it, I mean, I'm still happy with, but that one part of the drawing had me like patting myself on the back like, girl, you got this, you learning, you getting this. And sometimes I just need to hype myself with my inner monologue. My inner monologue hypes me up, and like we were vibing that day when it came to that one part of the drawing. So either way, now I'm gonna fill this in. I'm gonna put the grass. So on the lower right hand side, that's grass. That's just flat grass on the outside of the pond. And then the part that I'm painting right now are all bushes. All that was supposed to be all bush with like flowers and roses coming out of it, and I'm about to do flowers and the roses. So also, those are my little stairs. I again trying to figure out this whole depth thing, because I have the part of the stairs that you see, but the part of the stairs that you step on, I couldn't figure out how to make that look like you could step on it. But again, I'm learning. I think part of being a it's a shame that you can't just be a painter, you also have to be able to draw. And I think that's my problem. Like, no one in the history of ever was just like, hey, if you draw this, I'm going to paint it really, really well. Or maybe they have. Like, are there any like drawing and painting duos like that? Like, I need the inspiration. If you know of any, again, let me know. Put it in the comment, because I would love to know how that dynamic worked. So now I'm coming back in here and I'm adding some pink and purple flowers into my bush. And I just watercolored right on top of my green. I figured those two colors were dark enough and saturated enough that the paper didn't have to 100% dry in order for them to look like I painted on top of the bush. And now I'm just going to fill in the rocks. So one thing that I learned at looking at other watercolor was that it seems like if you can get the color down and then come back in and draw some things, you might be able to get more definition. I think my problem was that I was just trying to paint everything and realizing that with watercolor being so wishy-washy in a way, like, yeah, sometimes you really just need to put the color down and then come back in and draw some things, or draw the things first, put the color down, and then redraw or trace those things out so you can get more definition. So maybe I could have did that with these rocks, but I don't think it would have mattered. And I mean, it looks like a rock wall, so here we go. Now that I'm finished with my drawing, I'm going to go ahead and let that draw and fill in these lines just for the visual interest, no other reason. And, well, the other reason being to help me when I'm writing and using this. And that's going to be my migration. I really enjoyed doing this. I think for me, the biggest part of this was having that painting and using this time to just paint and see what that would look like. I'm super proud of it. But anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for visiting me on my page. If you would like to, please like and subscribe. I'll be doing this all year. I'm going to keep up better with doing this year. Let me know if you made it to the end of this video. And tune in soon because I'm going to be putting November up really quick after this. Have a good week, y'all. And I'll see you next time. Bye.